everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and it is more Vlogmas time. And we are going to talk about fertilizing because I got my next samples of the Agro fertilizer. So I'm going to give you guys my initial little review about it and then let you know what I'm doing. Alright guys, so first and foremost, it got chilly last night. It got down to 39 degrees, and I'm actually glad I was doing the daily videos for Vlogmas because I looked at my basil plant yesterday and I was like, that shouldn't look that way. And it gave me the thought to maybe I should check the weather. And so when I did, I realized that yesterday or the day before it was like 40, 41, which is why the tomato or the basil plant was looking a little sad. And then that night it was going to be 39. So although 39 is not freezing and it's only 39 for a couple of hours, we haven't gotten to the point where it's 39 for the whole entire night. But I still want to start looking at to maybe cover up some of my plants. So I'm going to insert a little clip on what it looked like this morning and what I did to it last night. Alright guys, so I didn't cover everything. I did have something over this one, but it is still not happy. So I think basil might be out for the rest of the season. But all of my brassicas, perfectly fine. Everything's good. They're loving life. And then I did cover all the tomatoes and peppers and eggplants. Forgot this one, but it did survive. It doesn't look too happy about it, but it did survive. But all of the, and I tried to cover some of the beans too as well. But as you can see, those beans are fine. And I'm really surprised too that the Malabar spinach didn't start bolting, because Malabar spinach isn't supposed to like things past 20, or I think 40 degrees. But everything seems to be good. I will be taking off everything and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I'm glad I did that because, you know, I opened up everything this morning and everything looks good, which I didn't expect for anything to be bad. My Chinese red lung noodle beans, I'm finally just going to pull them and let the Kentucky Wonders grow in their place. Actually, I'm not going to pull them. I'm going to snip them at the bottom so that I can save all of those nutrients that beans like to leave in your soil, which is nitrogen. So I'm going to see if my Kentucky Wonders will grow, and maybe covering them when it gets really cold at night will kind of help them do that, but we will see. Since we're doing Vlogmas, we have every day to figure out if it works. But let's talk about Agro. So I'm going to do an official full review on this later in the season when I see exactly how it grew, my vegetables. But for right now, I'm starting to like it. It does contain fish fertilizer and it does contain a bunch of other stuff. It's stronger. It's a 332 for this one. And then this one that is the fruiting one is a 335. So it's stronger than what my normal fish fertilizer is, which that brings me to a point that I don't know if I necessarily like it being that strong. Now I like all the other things that it has in it, like just with the additional, like, you know, stuff that it has in it. Other than just plain fish fertilizer, but I do think that it's a little bit too strong. I think that was one of the reasons why my tomato plant had some issues. So I am going to dilute it even more than what the back of the packet says. Now the packet says that this one whole little guy is supposed to be to 1 gallon of water. I'm actually going to do a fourth of that because last time when I put it on the first one a full gallon and I was like, okay, this is like thick. It was like almost like a thick like layer onto my garden. And then when I did this one on the fruiting plant, I did half and I was like, it's still a little bit thick. So I think I'm going to do a fourth and see how everything goes with that. But I'm going to show, as you guys can see, my tomato plant though grew, I think, a lot better with it. And then also my greens, which I'm going to get up and show you guys, have been growing a lot with it too as well. So I'm also going to tell you guys what I'm doing for some natural fertilizer that I'm just kind of doing on my own, that I always do just in my garden, because I do like natural things. Now, inside I'm currently pressure canning. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I have the door cracked so I can make sure I can hear the little jingle so I don't blow up my kitchen. But let me show you what the greens are looking like. So as you can see, guys, they are a lot taller. I'll get down here smaller. And they are looking really, really healthy. Now, part of the whole Agro Thrive thing is that it's supposed to help things be a little bit disease resistant. So I think that by looking at these, that it's actually doing that, because they seem to be really, really healthy, as well as my lettuce here and my spinach here too as well. So the kale is still growing a little bit slower, but that's kale for me. My kale gets really, really big during probably like later December. It'll be a lot bigger. And then these are some herb starts that I found that I couldn't resist buying. But also this cabbage is doing pretty well too, and it's starting to try and form like a little bit of a head, which is something that I wasn't expecting it to be right now. So I think it's doing well there. Now I'm using it on all of my fruiting vegetables too, like my peppers and my tomatoes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare it from what it was last year. The nice part about having a YouTube channel is that you can always just go back and look what things look like last year. But I'm gonna compare it to see about how much of a harvest I'm getting from those fruiting plants that are normally like summertime ones that grow a lot slower during the winter. So that's where I'm gonna find the real comparisons in. Now, for what I'm doing for natural fertilizer, I am going to, since I'm only going to use about 1/4 of that bottle per gallon of water, I'm also going to use some potato skins, because I learned how to pressure can. If you guys saw Vlogmas day 1, they looked pretty good, so I'm doing it again because potatoes are on sale right now. So I am making I'm using the potato water. And I will show you guys what I'm doing. I'll go inside real quick and show you guys what I'm doing to make that fertilizer water. Alright guys, so I have the potatoes in the pressure canner, and those ones are just getting started. I have to wait for this to start rocking before I hit the time on it to make it start pressure canning, but it's building pressure right now. But we don't want to waste this water, and we actually don't want to waste all the nutrients that come in the pills too as well. So what I'm gonna do, since I'm fertilizing today, is I'm going to take these peels and I'm gonna put them in here, and I'm going to boil them. And I'm just going to boil them until they start really boiling and boil down to basically where they're cooked. And then I'm going to take that water, let it cool, and then I'm going to add it to my Agro Grow. So I'm doing this in steps, guys. I'm kind of doing this all over the place, but I'm going to try and give you guys a comprehensive thing. So if you guys see me in different outfits and stuff today, that's why. So once that's done cooking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cool all the way down, and then I'm going to fertilize my garden, which will probably be perfect timing, because then it will be warm enough to where I will want to put a bunch of water all over my garden, because right now it's a little bit chilly. But the nice part is that for any of the small starts that I have, potato water is going to be a really, really good too, because it's not going to be as hard as regular fertilizer would on little starts. So all of my little starts that I have going on right now, which tomorrow I'm going to take you guys through a garden tour and let you guys see what exactly I have going on and what's popped up, because I have a lot of little starts that are popped up. But for those little starts, I'm going to use just plain potato water on them. Alright guys, so now I'm back inside and I have strained my potato water and I just put it into a jug. It's still cooling down, so it's still nice and hot, but it's at least where I can touch it. Now, when I said that this is more natural, I don't mean that Agro Thrive isn't natural or organic, because it is organic. I just meant like something that I'm composting myself or making myself. So what I'm gonna do is when this completely cools down, I'm probably gonna stick it in the refrigerator so it's not hot at all, because I don't want hot water going onto my plant roots. But when it's completely cooled down, I'm gonna take about a half a cup of this and a fourth of the bottle of Agro, and I'm gonna mix it with a gallon of water. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle that on my plants. Now, all of my plants are my new baby starts. I'm gonna just take probably about a fourth of a cup and mix that to a gallon of water and then put that on the plants. But what was left, oh, it's so hot, I'll lower the camera, are my potatoes. So this is another 5 that I have successfully done. I heard the pop on all of them, so that means that they're all great. I'm pretty excited, guys. So before I let you guys go, I want to show you guys one of my favorite Hanukkah signs that I have. Funny story really quickly. So me and Mr. Benson met, and a week later got engaged to be married. And about a week before our wedding, when we were picking a pastor to marry us, he told me he was Jewish. Something I did not know, and I didn't ask, I just assumed he was Christian. So that was my first year too. We got married in November 21st, and then right after that were the holidays, which was Hanukkah. And I realized that there are not a lot of Hanukkah decorations, so this is the first sign that I found that was for Hanukkah. So I'll show you guys that. So it's a little special for me because it was like my first step into being a Jewish wife. So it's this one right here, and it says, "Keep calm and eat latkes." So I brought that sign home. I was so excited, and I was like, look, I found a Hanukkah decoration. And he said, oh my God, I love latkes. And that's when I realized that you have to shred an onion to properly make potato latkes. Now I have a KitchenAid that shreds the onions, so there's a lot less tears for me. But make sure you guys are growing yourselves a garden, because even a small space will provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.